Hello, hello, everybody. How are you? How is your week? What are you doing? Do you have any plans for this weekend? Last weekend I was in Odessa, and this week I'm planning to be in Kiev, to stay in Kiev and to enjoy the city, to chill. I got some extra work. That's why I'm going to have some chill till the end of summer, to be somehow active and productive during the working year. That's why doing like this, having great stuff. What about you? Any plans for this week? Can you type in the chat box? Nobody's here? Okay. Why is anybody writing in the chat? Are you awake? It's already 11:30. Great. Nobody is here. Okay. Let it be. So let me share the screen with you for today's. So today we are going to have a look at the self-presenting stuff. So let's pencil in the agenda of today's webinar. We are going to have a bit of a discussion about yourself, personal branding, a technique of personal branding, self-introduction speech, some practical tips and some practical tips on self-branding. After that, we are going to look at the self-presentation ideas, questions to cover, and storytelling. And also the last part will be self-presentation practice. So what it means. Today is the Gala project day, and here is the QR code for your Google Drive disk. Here, scan please this code, and it will direct you to the folder for your project. These projects will be awarded. So you will get presents for the best project that will be chosen with the help of voting. And the topic of the project will be self-presentation and self-branding of yourself. So you are going to write either a post, to record a video, a photo, presentation, anything that you like, that you think will self-present yourself as a brand, not as a brand, but as a self-brand. So you are brand itself. And you are going to self-present with all the tips we'll discuss during today's webinar. Okay. So this week is Gala project, and the topic will be self-presentation and self-branding. You will get presents for this project. And the best will be chosen with the help of votes. It seems to me teachers will vote for the best project of the semester, or what it's called, of the semester. Okay, good. So can you please type in the chat box before we start? How often do you have to present yourself? What do you usually say or do? In the chat box. So speaking about me, I have to present myself. Okay. No plans for this week. My father did some courses. No plans. Read some books. Help my grandmother. Okay, good. So personally, as a teacher, I have to present myself quite often. And by the way, I'm not also a teacher, I'm a student. I'm on my 6 years of studying at university. That's why I have different teachers during semesters, and not also during semesters, but during some subjects, we have new teachers throughout semester. That's why I have to present myself. Speaking about teaching, I have a very interesting technique to present myself. Whenever I have a new group or new students, I prepare a presentation with funny photos of me, and I write about 9 facts about me. Several of them are false, should be false. Maybe 2 or 3, a couple of facts should be false. And I ask my students to work together and to read these facts and find we must do presentation about ourselves, right? If it's self-presentation, it's about you. So self-presentation. Okay. And I write some interesting facts about me, 9 facts, and 2 or 3 of them should be false. After that, my students discuss together and guess which one are false. And after that, when they discuss, they guessed about me, they look at me and observe me, they want to guess. I give some hints to them. And after that, I tell about myself. I show the facts that are false, and tell in a smooth way. I talk about myself, some facts about me. I elaborate on the facts that I have. So here it's my way of self-presentation. What about you? I saw that students write I don't have to present myself very often, but when I must do it, please, must do it. Without to, please. I usually just tell people my name and age. Only when I have to get acquainted with new people. I say just usual things like hobbies and tastes. Why not? It's very interesting to know about people. I usually say, hello, my name is Nikita. Why not? When I meet them. Okay, good. What speaking about this, how does a perfect self-presentation look like to you? Maybe you've met a lot of teachers, maybe you've met a lot of people, some friends, students who were new to you. Can you write what should a perfect self-presentation look like? Or how should it look? How should it look? As for me, the best presentation ever should be three things. It should be natural, positive, and true. Sincere, I should say. Sincere and true. Natural, so it can show just be yourself. And for me, the natural presentation will show the real personality of the person, not just the written presentation, and it's not really, it's like made up and it's very artificial. But a real self-presentation, a natural self-presentation should show the personality, the real personality of the person, and to show the personality to shine through. That's my motto of perfect self-presentation. What else? Natural, positive. Everything should be positive. If it's not positive, it won't be perfect. The person should show that he is positively interested in you, in meeting you, in getting on well with you, and being on the same wavelength. So for me, it's a very important thing. What else? And true, sincere. The person should feel that he wants to meet you. The person should give you the understanding that you are the person who he wants to make friends with. So this feeling, you will always understand what's sincere, what's not. For me, it's very important. What about you? Being friendly. Somebody writes being friendly. What else? In a good mood, not aggressive, cheerful and sociable, right? I don't often present myself. I usually say my name and ask the name of a new friend, and then we can communicate. Why not? Interesting, informative, have pictures about your personality, good things, and good looking, to be good looking. Short, sensible. Presentation should give us a lot of useful information in the short period of time, so it won't be boring. Right, very good. I like this idea. Good. Short, concise, right? Concise, it means that it's short and it has a lot of sense. Concise. I think the best self-presentation is when person speaks from the bottom of his heart, when person shows he or she wants to communicate and has positive attitude. Yes, of course, it has the creates the positive atmosphere between people, right? It should be positive, right? For me, it's the best way. Good. Okay. And the last question to you, why is being able to deliver great self-presentation so important in the modern world? Why? Having a great self-presentation is important in our modern world. Can you please type your ideas? For me, the importance of self-presentation is attributed to the consumer society and especially to the society of the society actually is divided into consumers or buyers and sellers. So you sell yourself to get some money or to get some job, to get anything in this world. So you should sell yourself for a very high price or for a reasonable price. That's why you need to have a great self-presentation to be sold correctly for a pretty high price. And there are buyers who buy you, who are enticed by your self-presentation. Of course, these roles can be switched. You can be either seller and then you can be buyer and vice versa. That's why, personally, I think that it's very important nowadays to have a great self-presentation in order to be sold at a reasonable price. Not too boring, right? In this world, we shouldn't be alone. I'm checking the chat. We shouldn't be alone. It's important to have new friends, okay, with the same interests. Okay, that's a very good point, right? Not to be alone, to be sold correctly. What else? Who else can present? Um, if you sorry, but we can't use will after if you don't present, you write condition and it should be in present. If you don't present, nobody will know you. Nobody will know you, right? Okay. Wow. Well, it's a very good point. It will help in a lot of situations in life. Importance of first impression also shows how you show yourself will influence on your communication with others, and there are stereotypes Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. To find new people to talk with. Okay. Cool. Good. Thanks a lot. So the thing I would like to talk today is personal branding technique. Personal branding is about taking responsibility over how you present yourself. If you strive to position yourself as an expert or become an influencer within your niche, self-branding can help increase your reputation as a leader. By showcasing unique character traits and having an active presence online, you can work towards building a personal brand that resonates with people all over the world. Today, I will present some guidelines and steps towards branding yourself with the most popular personal branding tips. But first things first. First thing first. What is personal branding? Personal branding is the practice of creating a brand around a person rather than a business entity. Personal branding is used to help further people's careers by positioning them as an expert within an industry. By developing a personal brand, a person can grow their social following to help them secure a better job, sell more product in their business, increase better opportunities in their career. Building a personal brand is not something that happens overnight. It can take lots of planning and months of hard work to start seeing the results. Sometimes you need to improve your personal brand after receiving feedback. This type of branding can also be called self-branding, and these will be used interchangeably in today's webinar. Probably branding and self-branding will mean the same thing today. To grow your own personal brand, you can write a personal brand statement. A personal brand statement sets out who your audience will be, the value you want to give your audience, and why people should follow you. While building your personal brand, you should pull from this 1-2 sentence statement to ensure that you are remaining true to it. Different social technologies as social media like Facebook, Twitter, blogs have enabled people to become known, to connect them directly with the audience and to build a tight relationship on a global scale. That's the main reason why you need to become a brand and use branding yourself for self-presentation. We are living in a world where people are looking to connect directly with each other and hear each other's stories from the first person. That's why cooperation and being very close to your audience is very important nowadays. So why is self-branding important? Personal branding is important because it helps give a person more credibility. It's never been more competitive to land a new job or earn a paycheck. With more people building personal brands, you need to put yourself out there to get noticed. Personal branding can let recruiters find experts like you with ease, especially if you've been blogging brand yourself. If you are trying to land a higher position at a new company, you can showcase key data such as the number of followers you have, how much traffic your website gets, or other vital metrics which can give you a competitive edge over your opponents or candidates. Think of it almost like an online portfolio about yourself. Branding yourself allows more people to get to know who you are and how you bring value. It can also help you land new opportunities like business deals or marketing partnerships that you wouldn't otherwise have, especially if you are a person or influencer. Self-branding instills trust and credibility in your knowledge and your abilities. So companies know that partnering with you will improve their brand awareness. Branding yourself in an authentic way by showing your personality is an excellent way of differentiating yourself from others in your field and developing your personal brand. We will take more about this later. So, how to improve your personal brand? Once you've started to work on your personal branding, feedback and ensuring your self-brand is aligned with your personal branding statement. It will help you to improve on your progress. Personal branding has been hugely successful for many different people, but without your personal branding statement, it can be hard to know when you have achieved success in your endeavors. It's essential to know what progress looks like to improve your personal branding. Let's follow these steps to improve your personal brand. Research and create your personal branding statement. Define your audience at this stage and audit competitor that may exist for you. Build a personal branding strategy. Build a personal branding strategy. Plan how to engage with your target audience. Define what success will look like for you in 2 months, 9 months, or 2 years. Monitor your personal brand engagement. Promote positive participation and have a plan of action for negative remarks. Develop your personal brand. Aim to share your personal brand through social media, networking, outreach, and speaking opportunities. Consider blogging, vlogging, podcasts, and other ways that you could promote your personal brand in a way that your audience will consume the content quickly and in a more interesting way. Have a communication plan. Controlling your presence online can be time-consuming. So this plan will help you with negative backlash and help you to easily provide information to partners that you will work with down the line. Measure your success regularly. Set some KPIs for personal brand success so that you know you are heading in the right direction. Celebrate even small wins to remain motivated to achieve more. So after doing all these, how do you know if you've been successful in building a personal brand? A few valuable KPIs include when a sale converts through your blog, when you are asked to speak at an event or in a podcast, when someone refers you to a potential client, when a publication reaches out to invite you to guest blog, when people start mentioning you online on social media, their blog, or other important media. Where personal branding hasn't been successful. Let's have a look at this one. Branding yourself isn't an easy feat. It's time-consuming, it's slow, and sometimes it's hard to stomach. Receiving negative feedback online can knock you even if you have a great communication plan. And sometimes you don't feel like being the brand you have built. Let's highlight a few things to consider when branding yourself so that you can improve your self-brand quickly. Ignoring other influences. Chances are you are not the only person in your industry building their personal brand, and others have been there longer. Do your research to make sure that you aim to achieve hasn't been done before. List your competitors, monitor them often to know what they are doing and see if you can borrow an idea or two of them. Identify potential partners who you can reach out to ask and to ask for advice. so you don't waste your time on worthless ventures. Ignoring your followers. Once you have built even a small following, make sure you listen to what they are saying. If you promote a product and they don't like it, find out why and decide if it's the best product you promote. Read the comments after your social media posts to get a good idea of what your following enjoys, and use a search engine to search your name online. You might uncover something about yourself that you didn't know about before. That's what I was talking before. That self-branding will help you understand yourself better. It will uncover some stuff that you didn't know before about yourself. Generating subpar content. Slacking off is never the right choice, especially when you are trying to build a brand around your knowledge in the area. Keep yourself in tune with your industry, and if you are not a great writer, choose a different medium to promote yourself or hire a freelancer to help you up your game. Branding yourself wrong. Without the right research, you can end up creating a personal brand that nobody wants to get behind. If your industry is old-fashioned and you want to breathe life into it, make sure to research if this will be met with positivity. Go out in the industry and ask the hard questions first before diving into branding yourself the utterly wrong way. It's important to mention here that your personal brand should be your true self and not something that you create. The more natural you are, the easier it is to remain consistent over time. Not being consistent. Being consistent is the most critical element of self-branding. People who change their belief system at the drop of a hat cannot be trusted in what they say in their content. Trust is ultimately what followers want. Followers identify with specific thought structures, and they follow people who think similarly to them. If you change these fundamental beliefs, followers will not trust in your personal brand any longer. Forgetting the longer term. For a personal brand, long term is essential so you know where your brand is going. If you plan to provide how-to videos for makeup with your audience, being beginners or young people interested in improving the makeup abilities, do you want to advance these videos long-term as your followers advance? Or will you be happy to remain at the same level, always providing beginner tutorials? These things should be thought about in the early stages of your planning process, so you can slowly move in the right direction. So again, the discussion, let's make you more active. So what famous brand personalities do you know, and why have they become brands? What famous brand do you know? So with the, it seems to me that with YouTube, with the help of YouTube, we know a lot of people influencers and a lot of brands, personality brands. So it seems to me that a lot of them, it seems to me, just bunch of millions of bloggers who everybody follows. Who are your favorite personality brands? Can you type in the chat box? Who are your favorite personality brands? Can you type in the chat box, please? Nobody is writing? Okay, let it be. So let's think that you don't know any personality brands. What do you need to consider when branding yourself? Let's write about some of the criteria. Okay, Disney, Elon Musk. Okay, I think Elon Musk is the brand of his business entities, and it's not like still it's the person of self-branding and of branding his business entities. Netflix, it's not self-brand. Disney is also not self-brand. So you need to know people who are self-brands, like Dude or Gordon or Pavel Durov, TikTok, Facebook. What's that? It's not people. It's social media. That's why that's not that. Personal brands, personalities, right? It's not brand. It's not brands. Telegram or TikTok. You need to know the people. Elon Musk agree, right? What else? As I said, Dude, right? A lot of people who have their personalities to bloggers, right? Good. How can your personal brand become known? It seems to me that you have written in the chat that through different social media like Facebook, TikTok, Viber, and Telegram, right? Netflix, Instagram. Netflix, no. Netflix is just a streaming medium. What do you need to consider when branding yourself? We are going to talk about it. Okay. Let's get to some tips. Kylie Jenner, Angelina Jolie, right? Very good. Kylie Jenner, I don't know about, I'm not subscribed on Kardashians because they are not very interesting to me. They are just living a luxurious life, and just what should I take from them? That's why, but they are very big self brands. And it's a very great example. Thanks, Sophia. That was very nice and very good example of to take Kardashians. Good. So what are the tips? of personal self-branding. When it comes to self-branding, being authentic is essential, but what does it mean? It means to be yourself. Everyone's got their own quirk. Maybe you randomly burst into song in the middle of a conversation, or maybe you have a really different way of dressing yourself. There's something about you that makes you an original. And if you are serious about branding yourself, now's the time to come to terms with your quirkiness. Truth is, that special trait is what will make you stand out on the planet and let you stand out on a planet of 7 billion people. Celebrate your differences and let your true self show. Of course, saying this is very hard to apply to Ukraine because here all efforts to show your difference will be somehow criticized and will be negatively criticized sometimes. Blogging for personal branding. Blogging for personal branding is one of the strategies used by many of the top influencers. Why does it work? Well, today you might be a nobody with no voice, but if you consistently create content within your niche of at least 1 to 2 years, eventually you'll be building an audience around yourself. There's 2 ways to approach blogging for personal branding. First, you can build your own blog. This personal branding strategy will require the most upfront work, but will ultimately be the most rewarding. Or you can write guest posts on top blogs within your niche. This will allow you to build an audience faster, but you don't own any of the virtual properties. Provide value, personal branding tips. When building say provide value, it usually sounds like fluff. Here's what it means. Say you're selling makeup products. You could either be the brand that solely runs ads, or you could build a personal brand where you create makeup tutorial videos, write articles about common makeup questions, host a stream of makeup inspiration ideas for different seasons or events. While a customer could very well buy from a brand that solely runs ads, they will be more likely to buy from an ad run by an influencer who provide values. Why? Because that influence helped them and taught them something new before they were ready to buy. The brand is at top of mind. Step out of the spotlight. It seems counterintuitive, but being in the spotlight all the time can take a toll on your life. Sometimes people need to miss you for a bit to realize how much they need you in your life. Think of Taylor Swift, for example. Before she launched her latest album, Reputation, she hadn't posted on social media for about 2 years. She completely stepped out of the spotlight as she started recognizing the toxic side of fame. When building a personal brand, you'll realize that there is a downside to too much attention. It's okay to step out of the spotlight every now and then to build yourself back up. My favorite brand, it's not brand, personality. Okay, good. Be consistent. Consistency is the secret sauce that winning personal brands have in common. Consistency isn't only about posting on social media every day. It's about unifying the brand, look, and messaging. Do all your social media posts look different or do they look the same? Some will tell you that you need to have variety with your content, but truth is the more consistent you are, the easier it is to grow a following. If your favorite pop singer suddenly created a jazz album, you'd probably lose interest because you prefer the original music he's creating. Same with personal branding. Your audience will fall in love with the way you present content. If you change tunes, they'll jump ship. Network. It's hard to master branding yourself if you never put yourself out there. Start that blog, hit up that meetup event, mingle with people at conferences, grab that cup of coffee with a stranger, post on social media every day. The more you interact with people, the larger your network becomes. While you may be tempted to stick to a niche-focused network, the smartest thing to do is to expand into other categories. You never know when you'll meet someone who offers a different perspective or whose expertise is in area that you'll need to know more about down the road. Become a creator. Some build a personal brand by being controversial. This can sometimes backfire and result in a lot of negative publicity. The safer way to create a great personal brand is to become a creator. Whatever you create, your own online store, a unique product or content, don't underestimate how important creation is. The best influencers are creators and doers. So start that online store, create that YouTube channel, and actually commit to posting each week or write guest articles on notable blogs. Hiding behind your computer and spending your weekends watching Netflix isn't going to help with self-branding. Be an expert. Branding can be hard when you don't have an area of expertise. Every influencer has his or her own niche. If you have an online store selling tools, you might want to make sure you are an expert in carpentry, furniture design, or some sort of relevant niche. If you sell car parts, you should probably build up your expertise in the automotive industry so you can provide value. Another way to look at it is to build a brand around your own area of expertise. Say you worked at a hair saloon for 5 years. You might build a personal brand where you share your expertise on hair issues while selling hair products. Amplify yourself. Earlier, we talked about being authentic. Amplifying yourself is the second step. In a crowded world, it can be hard to stand out. And amplifying yourself is where you can take the essence of who you are and run wild with it. For example, say you are a risk taker. If you want to build a personal brand around how you love taking risks, you might create content of you doing a bunch of daredevil activities. Kind of how Nick Wallander tightropped across Niagara Falls, or Felix Baumgartner did a supersonic fall from the edge of space. You might not do something not do so extreme as I said before, but you would do more extreme activities that the average person wouldn't do. Be social. Be also social. Personal branding can't be built without human interaction, you should understand. And eventually, a lot of influencers, they interact more with their fans. But if you start running your blog or self-branding blog, you should to respond to the messages of your followers. So you have to keep track of who tagged you in your post in their stories, who mentioned you in some articles. Do fans or people, followers, have some questions about your products that you advertise? People want fast responses, and it's important to humanize your personal brand. So, and also I'm going to talk about self-introduction speech, which is quite a personal statement, which is quite important to your blog, but building a personal brand can help elevate your business to new heights. By following a combination of the personal branding tips that we mentioned, being authentic, consistent, social will help you to increase your chances of success in your career. It can be kind of scary to put yourself out, but the reward is much greater than the risk. You can have the power to really make an impact in the world, and your legacy lies in your hands. So, self-introduction. Be visually appealing during your self-introduction speech. Also, speak with conviction. Adapt the right body language. Wear an upbeat mood. So be active, be optimistic, and positive. Become your best friend. Don't put yourself down. Show that you are an expert in some area. Ignore everyone else and focus on yourself. Make some notes. Watch the timing and keep track of the timing. Breathe and relax. Trick yourself into being confident. Prepare and practice in readiness. Here are some ideas. I will show them before at the end of the webinar. But now let's have a look at the not popular, but at the examples of self-branding by celebrities, by actors, by heroes of some films, and maybe it will help you to shoot a video of your self-presentation. Maybe it will help you to understand the idea of self-presentation. So let's have a look.
Who are you? You wouldn't believe in me if I told you. Who are you? I'm Mr. Nobody, a man who doesn't exist. I'm Batman.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet you.
Call me Joker.
As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Leela at Multipass. You know this Multipass. Leela Dallas.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Fast ship. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
Harry Potter. Cricket, you're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger. And you are? Ron Weasley. Pleasure.
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump. You want a chocolate?
The name's Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
My very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V. Voila! I'm Gat.
Your turn now. Your turn will be in your Google Doc. And let's have a look at the bunch of motivation from that talk. Just a couple of minutes before finishing. Just let me check the comments.
It's the 5th time I stand on this shore, the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness of an ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950, and it's still never been done. The team is proud of our 4 attempts. It's an expedition of some 30 people. Bonnie is my best friend and head handler, who somehow summons will, that last drop of will within me when I think it's gone, after many, many hours and days out there. The shark experts are the best in the world, large predators below. Now the box jellyfish, the deadliest venom in all of the ocean, is in these waters, and I have come close to dying from them on a previous attempt. The conditions themselves, besides the sheer distance of over 100 miles in the open ocean, currents and whirling eddies, and the Gulf Stream itself, the most unpredictable of all of the planet Earth. And by the way, it's amusing to me that journalists and people, before these attempts often, ask me, well, are you going to go with any boats or any people or anything? And I'm thinking, what are they imagining? That I'll just sort of do some celestial navigation and, carry a Bowie knife in my mouth, and I'll hunt fish and skin them alive and, eat them, and maybe drag a desalinization plant behind me for fresh water. Yes, I have a team. And the team is expert. And the team is courageous and brimming with innovation and scientific discovery, as is true with any major expedition on the planet. And we've been on a journey. And the debate has raged, hasn't it, since the Greeks, of isn't it what it's all about? Isn't life about the journey, not really the destination? And here we've been on this journey, and the truth is it's been thrilling. We haven't reached that other shore, and still our sense of pride and commitment, unwavering commitment. When I turned 60, the dream was still alive from having tried this in my 20s and dreamed it and imagined it. The most famous body of water on the earth today, I imagine, Cuba to Florida. And it was deep in my soul. And when I turned 60, it wasn't so much about the athletic accomplishment. It wasn't the sort of ego of I want to be the first. That's always there, and it's undeniable. But it was deeper. It was how much life is there left? Let's face it, we're all on a one-way street, aren't we? And what are we going to do? What are we going to do as we go forward to have no regrets looking back? And all this past year in training, I had that Teddy Roosevelt quote, to paraphrase it, floating around in my brain. And it says, you go ahead. You go ahead and sit back in your comfortable chair, and you be the critic. You be the observer, while the brave one gets in the ring and engages and gets bloody and gets dirty and fails over and over and over again, but yet isn't afraid and isn't timid and lives life in a bold way. And so, of course, I want to make it across. It is the goal. And I should be so shallow to say that this year, the destination was even sweeter than the journey.
Okay. So it was a bunch of motivation for your self-branding. So I'm going to show you one more time the QR code to which you have to scan and send your self-presentations to this disk, and you will get the prizes for your self-presentation and self-branding. It can be any format possible, whatever you like. I will read everything and I will choose the best self-presentation, the most creative self-presentation, and I will send you the prizes. Okay, good. Thanks a lot for today. Have a nice weekend. See you the next week. Bye-bye.